Reef DVMs here, coming at you with high bay barn LED lighting. I want to put one of these up in the barn to give myself some more light in the front area where I plan on working. This is a high bay 150 watt light, bought off Amazon here for about 360 bucks. I'll go through the supplies here that I'm going to use to put this light up. First thing is it does come with a bezel to help radiate the light down and direct it more straight down. In my application, I'll show it to you on the light, but I don't intend on using that because this light can also be used without it to spread the light out more. Get yourself a 20 amp switch. Certainly you probably could get away with a 15 amp, but I always like being a little higher grade. I got myself a gray cover here to put over the outlet box, and then I'll be ready to wire this thing up. So here's the light, the way I intend to use it. Again, I'm not going to put the bezel on it. It says LED high bay light there on the left, and it comes all factory set, which is nice. It's real strong and sturdy. I'm going to use 12 2-wire because, again, I'm running this to a 20 amp breaker, and I'm going to make sure I've got it all properly wired to meet code if I ever want to have the barn inspected for whatever reason. The bottom there has a nice diffuser lens already on it. Again, you can put that big cone-shaped bezel on it and shoot the light down if you'd like more. It comes standard with electrical box already on the outside, and of course a hookup cord with 3 wires. I bought myself a 20 amp male plug here, and I'm just wiring it up. I want to just make sure it's wired to code, so I did follow the instructions that it came with. Obviously green is your neutral, in this case brown is your hot, and yellow or kind of yellow whitish is your common. So I get this all wired up, and I'm certainly going to just kind of test it here inside the house and make sure it all works, because when I get out in the barn, it happens to be February now and it's still cold in Minnesota. So I'm just kind of putting it all together to kind of show you what it looks like here. The power from the breaker box is going to come in to this little box here and get the punch out there, and then I'm going to just take the light and plug it into it. I think that would be the easiest for my application. And then of course if I ever want to add another light, I could plug it into this one where the power is too. Just run a cord over from it to the power, and then I'll be able to light another light. So this is what the box will look like when it's fully wired, and it'll be hanging from the ceiling. And again, I'm just going to plug it in here so you can see kind of what it looks like. And then for the sake of argument right now, I'm going to put that little plug here in the back where I did the punch out, so that when I run the wire from the breaker box in there, that the metal housing there doesn't cut the wire all to pieces. You can buy these at any simple hardware store. They don't come with the light setup, but again, I went and bought a few. And again, I'll just use the 12 2-wire here and run it right in there. I think what I'm going to do here, folks, is I'll take a second, I'll flip this thing over here, and then so you can see it, and then I'm actually going to unscrew the diffusing lens on this thing, and I'm going to put the bezel on it so you can kind of see what it looks like, the way it was kind of intended to be used. Again, there's the LEDs there. You can, I did talk to the manufacturer, you can use it without this bezel on though. It just gives you a more diffuse light, which is the way I intend to use it. So you unscrew 3 screws, you put the bezel on it, you put the diffuser back on the inside, screw it back together, and basically this would give you a more direct downward light for high bay lighting. In my case, I'm only hanging this about maybe 12 feet in the air in a barn, and if I did this, it would be more like a spotlight coming down than a diffuse light like I want. One thing I like about these LEDs, it's a real bright light to work with, and I like how it spreads out. So I probably will again take this off when I take it to the barn, but I thought I'd put this on here right now so you can see what it looks like. This particular LED high bay light is 150 watts, and it is rated for 110. Obviously some LED lights are higher wattage than this, and rated all the way up to 270 volts. I guess that's just preference, folks. This one's comparable, obviously, to a 500 watt halogen. So here's my electrical box. I've got my 12 wire going into my PVC, my PVC going up to my switch box, which I am doing because it's in a barn more of a marine switch, so it's totally sealed up and covered. My switch there is for 20 amps, and then again my 12-2 wire goes all the way up to the top and then is going to run across the rafters and over to the light, and I'll show that in a minute. So again, I got a 20 amp switch, and I got my 12-2 wired in, and I'm just going to finish wiring this up here, which goes back into the box, which has its own breaker on a 20 amp breaker. So this is real good for the barn. So basically I hung the light right in between two trusses where it's going to be the most use to me. Yes, I have fluorescents in the barn, and they light it up nice enough for any ability to walk in the barn, grab a piece of equipment, and leave. But when I'm actually working on equipment, particularly the tractors, I really like to see better, and this is really going to help me. So I've got it about 12 feet in the air. As you can see, I've got the 12-2 wire in it, and then I just kind of show you here. I strung it across the 2x4s. I strung it just above the light. I tacked down about every 3 feet with the little white tack downs, and then went all the way back again down to the switch. One continuous wire, and now the switch cover is on, so it should be all set. As you can see, this is the amount of light I'm getting in the barn for the most part with the fluorescents, and again, it's enough to walk around and get equipment out. It's just not quite enough to work with, and this LED will really help me with that. The other nice thing with the LED is when it's really cold, the fluorescents take a little bit to warm up. These LEDs are like that, and they're warmed up, which is pretty sweet. So my next step here is just to finish up a little bit of minor wiring here and get this ladder down. I'll just climb up here and finish installing in here a little bit, put a little clip on it, make sure I got the bezel on it good here for the diffuser. And again, the big silver bezel I'm going to leave off because I want this light to be really diffuse. Again, you can see I'm kind of bundled up because it's February out here and it's cold. So there it is lit up. I mean, that's how bright it is. It's almost an irritating bright to look at, but again, I don't look at it. I just have it above me. And it lights up pretty quick. So I really like how this is going to open up and light up the front part of this barn, where eventually I'm going to have concrete, where eventually I'm going to be able to drive in and use this light to work on equipment. At this point, I'll see if I can maybe shut down some of the other lights in the barn and show you how bright it really is. So this is how bright it is with the fluorescents on. As you can see, it lights up this area pretty nice. A lot brighter than it was just a few minutes ago when I was trying to show you the wire up. And then I'll see if I can maybe kill some of these lights here and maybe show you what it looks like in more dark. So now this is lit up with just the LED on in a 30x70 barn with a 12-foot lean. Actually, again, very bright for just having an LED. Very simple light to wire up, very simple light to hang. I think the whole thing weighs like maybe 26 pounds. See, that's how quick it comes on, folks. Again, gets completely dark and then just bang, it's on. That's what I like about these lights. And it's a real bright white light, which is real easy to work with. It's just a nice light to work on equipment with. And if you put this higher up in the bay, you could put the bezel on it and shoot the light more straight down if you wanted. Again, I don't want it that high. This is plenty high enough for me. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video of it. I tried to show you how I installed it. Again, LED lighting in the future, especially LED high bay lighting, you're going to see in more barns. This is just one of the products that this company sells, but so far I'm well pleased with this 150 watt light. I like how it lights up. I like the light and the amount of light it gives me. And again, I appreciate you watching, folks. If you can, click like or subscribe to our channel, and we'll continue to put out videos like this. This video in particular is just one step of me trying to wire up this little red barn project, but I appreciate you watching. Thanks, folks.